podcast. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there, podcast people. Thanks for checking us out again.
Yes, thank you very much.
We are always happy to have you. And, by the way, if this isn't enough, which for many of you I know it's not. I mean, we give you a podcast every single day from a podcast that used to be maybe 20 minutes each week, and now we give you like a 40-minute podcast daily.
A million of them.
And if that wasn't enough, now we come to you in vlog form. That's
All
right.
of the vlogs.
Visual treats. You can see us, a slice, a little slit of our lives.
I told you how I feel about that word.
Is displayed each day, Monday through Friday, on our blog channel. Well, it's on my blog channel. It's Marconi Baloney, but the link is in the description of the podcast. So check it out if you're listening to us on any form. YouTube.com/Marconi Baloney. Are you having fun doing it?
Yes, I am.
I can never tell with Sierra Cake because, see, like I'm a radio guy, and I've always been in front of microphones and cameras, and I've always put myself out there. But you're just like a private citizen. You don't really do that. So I never know, like, if you're being pushed to your brink or if it's okay with you.
Well, my brink has been pushed a lot, so
I
just have to say yes.
What that means. But, so it is fun, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I guess, sure. So maybe not. I don't really know.
You're so rude.
Would you click a thumbs up on the video if it was in front of you right now?
I sure would.
Okay, just making sure. See, she does know. But you know what? It's weird. It seems like all we do is go find places to eat food.
That's all we do, though.
That is not true. Well,
yes, it is.
Today's video, by the way, if you check out our vlogs, they're daily, Monday through Friday, at noon Pacific. So we're always with a new video each day. And, like, we're doing vlogs, but I'm also going to do videos on that channel, too. Like, just kind of like regular Q&A, whatever. You know, like, we want people to feel like they can ask us questions and everything like that. So we're going to do lots of stuff. But I'll tell you this week, and I don't know, because we've watched a lot of vlogs over the last few years, getting to know each other. And like the people that do vlogs every single day, I don't really know how they do it, like their method. But my method is, like, shoot something interesting and post it.
So I think you've got a good system going.
Yeah, because, I mean, I can tell you what's coming up this week. We did a late night food run, which is coming up on today's vlog. And then a donut run. And then we went to eat crepes and the mall.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to a place called Dave & Buster's.
Yes, we didn't eat anything there, though.
There's a vlog about a kiddie rodeo where we buy a costume for actually Bijou. Excuse me, Bijou. And then we try it on all the animals.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, if you haven't checked out our videos yet, go to Marconi1.com and click the Baloney button. And there's a vlog page there that will take you to all our videos in their glory.
Take you to special fun places.
Yeah, that you've never been before.
Find MePlusCake on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. MePlusCake.com.
I just watched the video of Lady Gaga getting vomited on at South by Southwest.
Uh-huh.
That is not appealing at all.
That's like, what?
A girl was forcing herself to vomit on Lady Gaga, sticking her fingers down her throat or whatever.
That was the worst part.
Yeah.
Is watching the girl, like, trying to gag herself to throw up all over her.
Yeah,
like,
it made
what
me
are you
gag.
doing?
I was like, ugh.
That's gross.
But
It's not artistic. It's not cool. It's not, like, that's gross. And just, like, what the hell?
Obviously, Lady Gaga is always doing things to get people to talk, but I don't really, and I like her. I think she's awesome, but that was just yuck.
Too much. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
And the girl had, like, green dye in her vom. I don't know if that was...
It's like barf painting is what it's called, basically.
There's a real thing called that people do like that?
I guess. I don't know. I was reading the comments, and somebody said that it's like vomit.
Oh, so like she's a vom artist?
Like what? Why would anybody want... Ugh, that's just gross.
And you know, like, there's always that devil's advocate that says, well, everybody's talking about it right now, then.
Yeah, but not for the right reasons.
It doesn't matter. Even if it's for the worst reasons, at least they're talking.
Miley Cyrus gives me the same. Ugh.
So does this put her, Lady Gaga, for you in the same category?
No, I still like Lady Gaga, but she tries too hard sometimes. Like when she shows up in her meat dress or like gets thrown up on or like, I don't know, wears those like weird ass shoes that she can barely walk in. Like, just settle down. She's so talented. Like, she doesn't need all that weird crap, you know?
I think personally, like I could do without the vomit thing. I like the meat dress and all the weird things like that because all
But it's so unnecessary. Like, what's the point? Like, being weird is okay, like being different and stuff, but that's just like strange. Like, everybody's like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. I don't like it.
They are like, what the hell? But I don't think the vomit thing is one thing. The meat dress was funny, and I don't really understand like the vom thing other than, you know, this person was a professional. It's an actual profession, apparently, a vom painter.
Ew, that is so gross.
Yeah. So I say no, Lady Gaga. You're awesome, but
stop it.
Yeah, Cake says stop it. So stop it.
Marconi plus Ciara is MePlusCake.
You know, chimp expert Jane Goodall claims that Bubbles, you know, Michael Jackson's chimp that he used to have in the 80s,
Yeah.
Was beaten on Michael Jackson's watch.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, and the chimp, I mean, the thing is, in the clip, she basically explains that once chimps,
Chips, yum.
once chimps age to a certain level, they can never turn back. No, chimps get, like, when they're, you know, little, like 3 to, like, 5, they're cute, just like human peoples. But chimps, when they get, like, to be teenage and older, they need to be outside and not domesticated in any way.
Right.
And so she says it's not a good idea. And
yeah.
I mean, and Bubbles, by the way, is at some kind of a chimp sanctuary in someone's backyard or something.
Does it, like, I don't understand why people think that having, like, a wild animal is ever okay as a pet. Chimps are scary, too. Like,
yeah.
When they get, like, a little bit rogue, they'll rip your face off. They ripped a lady's face off in France.
Yeah. I mean, and they're not, they seem like they're way too powerful. And they have, like, you know, the strength of, like, 12 men.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't mess with a chimp.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I can't even believe, like, Jane Goodall lives amongst gorillas. I don't even.
But gorillas are vegetarians.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But, I mean, it doesn't mean that they're not going to kill somebody. You know what I mean?
No, they would if they were, like, threatened or whatever. But it's not like they're, like, chimps and, like, most other monkeys are carnivores. So they'll eat you. Like, they'll attack you and they'll eat your face off. And chimps, they are known to rape females in the wild too.
Wow.
Yeah, they're scary. I don't like monkeys.
So Michael Jackson really did spank a monkey.
Ew.
Marconi Bologna plus Ciara Cake. MePlusCake.
The thing about this next story that I don't like is it's people that I love. I love Little People, Big World. And Amy and Matt Roloff are good people. But it's a reality show, if you're not aware, on TLC, about two little people and raising their family, and they have a big farm outside of Portland, and they're like local celebrities, and people know them everywhere, and it's a huge show on TLC. But they've been married for 26 years.
Wow.
And I guess they can't stand living together anymore, and they've just announced that they're separating.
Oh.
Yeah, and the clip that they provide, because they have a big plot of land. They have a beautiful home, and all their kids are off at college and all that kind of stuff. They have one still at home, and like little skirmishes happen. Like, I guess he likes things tidy, and she's a little bit messy, right?
Oh,
so he
dear.
tries to clean up a mess,
Right.
and he says, "Oh, I want to clean up this mess," and he's like, "Oh, I don't even like to be here when it's all messy." And she's like, "Well, then I'll definitely make it even more messy then."
Oh dear.
So it's like, ah. And so that's the clip that I saw. And obviously I'm not there. I just see what I see from their TLC show. But they seem like both really good people. They're very community-minded. They give back a lot. They have a great pumpkin patch where you can go and pick pumpkins. And they have, hay rides and all that kind of stuff. It's a fun family place to go. They're just outside of Portland. And I love those guys. They're good community-type people. So it's sad to see them not be able to keep it together, I mean, 26 years is so long, too. Like
I know. That's like long time.
I think my parents have been together for 15, 16 years.
I think my parents are coming up 15, and then my mom and my stepdad are a long time. I don't even know, actually.
Could you imagine them splitting up, though?
Not at this point.
Yeah, right?
It would be so weird.
Right. I just don't. After 26 years, it seems like you just live in separate houses, because that's what they're doing right now. They have this big property, and they have like a guest house, which is a pretty big house, and he's living in the guest house.
And they just can't stand to be around each other anymore?
I guess not. Well, but I mean, if you took a nice break and said, you know what, we do have, I mean, if you thought enough of someone to be there for 26 years, maybe you could work it out. Just take a break. I mean, why can't people be single and not, not dating and stuff, but just have time to yourself. Go on a vacation, take a trip, and maybe take a year off from being together.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's too bad that the Little People, Big World are splitting up. Now there are going to be two shows, I guess. A spin-off or something. I don't know.
Oh, dear.
Little People, Even Bigger World.
They met on the internet. It's MePlusCake.
In one of our videos upcoming, we did a photo booth. Like an actual couple got into a booth and took some photographs.
I haven't done that in so long.
I know. The thing is, I always like it, but whoever I'm in the photo booth with always seems like they don't want to be there. And then I see everyone else, like seriously, I see so many other couples that do these, and they look like, oh, they're so in love, and they want to be together, and they're on top of each other in the photo booth. And then I get in there, and it's like, oh, God. And that was, because Sierra Kate got in there, she was like, ugh.
No, I didn't. Why do you always make
Watch
me
the
sound like
video
such an
on our
asshole?
YouTube channel. You'll see the disdain for the photo booth when I tell her. I say, oh, look, a photo booth. Want to get photos? It's like, no. Please, God, no photographic evidence that we were together. But it happened. And we have a vlog of it, so it's coming up on our vlog.
Yeah.
Marconi Bologna, Sierra Cake. MePlusCake.
Fred Phelps, Westboro Baptist Church founder.
Yes.
He's the guy that uses horrible terms and says that God hates certain people who enjoy other people's company. He's not a nice gentleman. I mean, he started this thing that, like soldiers will die. And instead of people just, leaving it alone, they'll have a huge protest outside the soldier. The reason that this man died is because America allows gay marriage or something like that.
Something sick like that.
They always have an excuse as to why they can act like jerks.
Ugh.
Anyway, the founder, Fred Phelps, is on his deathbed, and people are, not sad about it.
I'm not sad about it.
I can't say that I am either. In fact, I had, what's her name on? I can't remember. The lady that she used to go around and talk, Phelps. I can't remember her name. I blocked her out of my mind. But
I guess she wasn't that memorable.
Well, I mean, she was, but the thing was like at the time, like every radio show and CNN and Fox News, they all had her on. And she would just filibust in the conversation. She would just never shut up. And if you like antagonized her, she would just keep going. So I told everyone on my radio show at the time to like, hey, like, don't engage her because she wants a reaction. Like, she's going to say things that are going to make you want to like punch through the phone and knock her teeth out. But be different. Like, choose words that are like funny instead of reacting emotionally in anger, you know, like, because I worked with 2 comedians at the time and it was really hard. I mean, we all had a hard time because we disagreed with everything she had to say, you know?
Yeah.
And this guy is the founder of that. And that belief that people who, you know, want same-sex marriage or in gay relationships are why God hates the world and he hates them and they're all going to hell. And
Why, like, who uses the word, like, hate like that? So, like, it's just so, it's so mean. It's such a nasty thing to say that you hate someone because of who they are.
And it really is, to me, just a bunch of ignorant people who want so much attention and they know how to get it. It's just you push a little bit of a button and everyone reacts. And I think the problem with it is that we do react because for whatever reason we feel like they get media attention, so we've got to tell them how we feel. Why do we even care about idiots like this? Like, why do we give them the time of day?
Because people always want to stand up for something that they believe in, so.
Right. And at the same time, these people are so stupid and idiots about it. I feel like if we just ignored them, wouldn't they maybe slowly go away, even if it took 5 or 6 years?
But it makes people so angry, like everybody just has to voice their opinions about it.
And I completely understand. Like I said, having them, just her on the radio for a few minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to slam the phone against her head. But, you know, so this guy's dying, and it's like one of those things where I don't, like, I'm sure they'll probably have a private funeral because their funerals, they protest outside of soldiers' funerals who are killed in the line of duty, or anybody they feel that they find some justification to do it, and it's disgusting. So I'm sure they'll have like a really private funeral, and because they're big wussies and they won't do it.
Well, I hope that somebody finds out where it is and they do the exact same thing to them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because they deserve it.
Like, why do they deserve the privacy, right?
Yeah.
MePlusCake.
Plans are gathering for the work of a new day.
You know, the rise of back to the basic funerals is becoming a huge thing. A lot of baby boomers are drawn to green and eco-friendly funerals. Like,
interesting.
Well, like, you know, not only are there a lot less spaces in funeral plots, but it costs so much for like the whole funeral process, like the casket, the burial plot, the headstone.
I think that's really sad.
Yeah, I mean,
like a member of your family passes away and you're left with like thousands of dollars of debt because you wanted to give them a nice funeral.
Yeah.
I don't want a funeral when I die. They can throw me in the ground. Just
who's they, Sierra Cake?
Just butt naked. I don't need a casket or anything.
So, like, if you and I are still together when you die, you just want me to throw you in the ground butt naked?
Yeah. I don't need anything special.
Really think. I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, people can say that selfishly, like, and I'm not saying selfishly like it's a bad thing, but, like, you could say that's what you want. But, like, how is a person, like, if I said that, would you do that to me?
If that's what you wanted, yeah.
But I'm saying, obviously someone is saying that because they don't want to be a burden. There's options. Like, for instance, the eco-friendly way. You could be cremated, right?
Yeah.
And then
that's fine. I can be cremated, but I don't need like a giant funeral service thing because that costs a lot of money too. Yeah,
it's sure. And I mean, but the thing is like when you have all the things, like I probably, you know, if it was the case where I was in a situation where I had to do that, which would be awful because I'm older than you, so I'm probably going to be gone before. But in the situation, just say, I would want a funeral that was like, hey, you know, remember blah, blah, blah. But
a celebration of life, you mean?
Yeah, like have a party. Like here's what because the Irish do it the best. They have, and seriously, I've been to a few Irish funerals. They're awesome. It's a celebration of the life. Of course, you go to the funeral, and then you come back to the house. And there's so much delicious food. You have every kind of food, Italian, Irish, Scottish, delicious French, food, whatever you can think of food-wise. And then you have literally like garbage cans filled with ice and beer.
Yeah.
And all the liquor in the world. And that's the kind of thing I would want. Like for people to have a fun time. You know?
It's hard. Like it's hard to think about that stuff because like you don't want like the people you love to be sad about you dying or anything like that.
But it is part of life. I mean, we're all dying, and it's just part of being a human being.
Yeah.
And it's nothing anybody wants to think about. But if you do kind of plan for it, it can be okay. Like if you say, okay, well, I know I'm going to die, so here's the plan. When I die, this is set up for you. You go here, you take whatever they need, and it's already paid for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if you plan, especially if you get to a certain age, it's okay to plan for your funeral. I mean,
yeah. Well, you kind of have to at one point or another.
It's morbid. Like if my mom comes to me and said, "Look, we've planned for our funeral, and here's what we want to do, and here's all the accommodations."
I used to write my will when I was a child.
Emo child.
Yeah, I wanted to be like buried in my prom dress, my grad dress.
Oh, weird.
And I wanted my stuffed dog Charlie to be buried with me.
And you know what's weird too is like a lot of people there, because like in movies you watch, like people are buried on their own property. I always thought that would be cool, but then like how would you ever sell the house?
Yeah, there's a dead guy in the backyard, by the way.
There's a burial ground behind your house. Like, okay, never mind. I've seen enough movies.
Nobody gets buried anymore, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like a religious thing more so than like a normal thing these days. Like, there's certain religions where like it's against their rules to be cremated and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain religions. If you have a tattoo, you can't be buried by the church. So
really?
Yeah, it's I don't know, but cremation I think is the best, and there are other alternatives to that too. But I really think be cremated, let your ashes be spread wherever. And there's some people.
We have a little burial ground in our apartment, actually.
Oh, way to bring the party down.
We're talking about such weird things today.
Yeah.
It helps us start the day with warmth and vigor.
MePlusCake.
I don't know what it is today. We've talked about eco-friendly funerals. Fred Phelps is on his deathbed. And now this story. A guy was in a body bag. I guess they thought he was dead. His name is Walter Williams in Lexington, Mississippi. He's 78 years old. And he woke up inside the body bag.
That would be my worst nightmare.
Right.
Did you know in the olden days they used to have like little holes that would go up to the ground when you were buried, and they would have like little bells in them. So if you were accidentally buried alive, you could like ring your bell. And people would come into because they never knew. Like tons of people were accidentally buried alive because they never had like a exact method of telling if somebody was dead.
So because they didn't embalm them. Because now when you die, they embalm you and they take all your fluids away. And back then,
like you're dead as F.
Yeah. So this guy was almost going in to have his embalming, procedure taken care of, and he woke up. And then so he woke up, and then 2 weeks later he passed away. So
for real this time.
Could you imagine like being his family? Because his family seems all right with it. And I mean, he was 78, so okay, he was an older guy. But it saddens me in a way because like when you look at this family and they're upbeat, for whatever media was coming to talk to them. But they say they cherished every single day of those 2 weeks because they didn't think they had it. They thought he was gone.
That's like sweet and morbid at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? Because it looks like he was like their grandfather or something like that. So they had another week or two with him. That's, I guess, a good thing. I have no idea if he was, coherent or anything like that. He was in a body bag for a while, so. It just seems sad.
So creepy.
But yeah, when I die, I just want to die. I don't want to wake back up inside something.
No, like when I'm dead, just like pull the plug, like be done with it, toss me in the incinerator. Like I don't want to come back alive. That would be horrible.
Me plus cake.
It is a pleasant spur to the morning's work.
You know, Sierra Cake's going to be leaving us soon. I mean, we're going to still be on the podcast and vlogs together and stuff like that, but you have to go back to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't really know why, but we'll figure it all out. I'm sure there's a logical explanation, but don't tell us now. But the pets seem to be acting a little bit weird because
Nala specifically.
you've been packing things and putting things away, and when you did it, you were in the back room here, and you had the door closed, and Nala would not leave it alone.
She kept meowing and scratching, and she never does that.
And then like I tried to like get her away because I was in here because the door is right by the studio, and I was like, "Hey, Nala, I'm working on stuff. Could you?" And she started hissing at me.
Yeah,
and
she never does that.
And so I don't know. Like animals seem to kind of have an intuition of some kind, especially when they see a lot of moving and weird things going, and cats hate being locked out of rooms. So, and Bijou even can kind of tell. She kind of knows something's happening.
She gets like melancholy, yeah.
Yeah, because she knows she'll be away from her daddy.
Aww.
Yeah. See what you're doing? You're tearing this family apart.
Don't.
You should have heard him this morning.
Me plus cake.
Sierra, are you excited about this story?
Yep, because he's been wanting it for so long, and she finally obliged.
We're talking about Drake and Rihanna. For a second,
They're
I was
finally an item.
yeah, I mean, yay, if you're excited for other couples getting together.
She like dissed him so hard a couple of years ago. She was like, "No, I ain't about that Drake life," and so now he's probably like, "Yes."
I don't. It's a weird thing. Rihanna, her dating abilities haven't always been the best, but I mean, maybe this one is
Drake
a good.
seems like a nice guy. He's Canadian, and he doesn't always sing about bitches and hoes in his lyrics.
Yeah, he's more romantic.
Yeah,
He's kind of old school
he would
that
be
way.
sweet to her.
So hopefully, I mean, he's got a good career.
I have a feeling he's not going to beat the crap out of her.
Exactly. The thing is like Chris Brown set the bar pretty high. No matter what anybody else does, it's not going to be worse than Chris Brown.
Yeah, no, that's like the highest level of douche.
Yeah. So I mean, even if Drake was kind of a jerk or was in a bad mood one day, he's never going to be as bad as Chris Brown. So Rihanna, just kind of what we know about her, seems like maybe this will be like the perfect match.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we can only hope. Personally, I mean, I'm a guy. I don't care. I mean, Rihanna's pretty. I think she kind of makes bad choices, but who doesn't? And Drake, I don't really know. I mean,
At least she's not like Justin Bieber.
In what way?
She doesn't get DUIs, and she doesn't give attitude, and she's not been arrested. And
I
all
won't
this
say
stuff.
the attitude because I've seen her in press conferences where she's kind of, I can't really describe it, but she's kind of like better than you in a way.
Snooty.
To the media in some ways. And listen, I understand some media people are complete douchebags and they deserve to have celebrities treat them a certain way. But it's kind of one of those things where when you choose to be a celebrity or when you want to be a celebrity, part of being a celebrity, you have to deal with the media. And the way you deal with the media, whether it's a guy who's being a douchebag or somebody who's fun, if you deal with them all the same way, you're always going to look great. And you know what I mean? Like you're always going to look like, wow, she even to the douchebag, she's funny with, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That is like if you watch the best celebrities, they're the ones who can roll with whatever. And so and she's young, so maybe she'll learn. But obviously, she's got a lot of things to learn, and maybe
I think she's better than a lot of celebrities, though. So
absolutely. Well, she's definitely talented, and I like her music, and I like what she does. So maybe her and Drake will be the best thing ever.
Aw.
Brother, that next morning,
MePlusCake.
I never felt worse.
This is kind of a strange story. A pastor gets up in front of his congregation, and he's loudly confronted by a longtime person about his relationship with his wife.
Right.
Apparently, a long time ago, he cheated on his wife.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he has been the pastor of the church since 1967, so he's been there for a while. He's beloved, but I think in some way it was heavy on his heart. He wanted to get it out there. So he confesses to his church, and in the middle of confessing, when he's done with most of the confession, everybody's like, oh, we love you, we forgive you. He asks for forgiveness of his congregation. He drops dead. So I don't know, like maybe that's all his heart could take. Maybe that's all he needed. His heart was broken all these years because of something bad he did, and he couldn't live with it. And then he got it out there, and he's like, nope, see ya.
Well,
because
there you go.
It's kind of like that thing too.
Jesus forgives.
That's right. Well, and his congregation forgave him too, and obviously his wife, I guess, was still with him, and she knew about it, so she had forgiven him a long time. But what I think is weird, because I can kind of understand, like, if I ever, like, if there was a situation for cheating on someone, that would break my heart, you know?
Yes.
Like, I couldn't do that. And because some guys, they roll and they don't care and it's no big deal. But if you're in love with someone and you're in a relationship, and especially a long-term one, I just can't imagine doing that. Having that inside and not being, you know, first of all, you'd have to tell the other person.
Yes.
You couldn't keep it in. And that probably was a bad thing. It probably didn't help his health throughout his life.
It bear down on his soul.
Yeah, so I don't know. But either way,
I have to tell you something.
I mean, at least he got it off his chest before he died.
I have to tell you something.
Oh, great. What?
I don't know how to put this, but I love you.
I love you too.
Marconi plus Ciara is MePlusCake.
I still haven't watched Veronica Mars, the new movie. We almost watched it. But that was a Kickstarter movie, and like 91,000 people helped fund that movie.
That's weird.
And a lot of people are getting their movies kickstarted. And I think that's great. A lot of times I think it's really great because what happens when a movie can only be made if it's going to make money, then you only get a certain type of movie.
Yes.
And just because something isn't made to make money doesn't necessarily mean it's not good. It just might not be for everyone. Like Veronica Mars was a great show, but it wasn't a huge ratings getter when it was on TV.
I never watched it.
And fans of the show were diehard. They just weren't the masses. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was a cult following, and those cult followers helped fund the movie. And I think that's great. If you're a fan of something like that, and you want to see a Veronica Mars movie being made, why not spend a few dollars and have them create it, right?
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
And so all these movies are now being put on iTunes, which is, to me, even cooler because then you get to directly support them. Like if you weren't a part of the Kickstarter, then now you get to...
Oh, yeah, we saw it on Apple TV last night, didn't we?
Yeah. And we also, there was a movie Grace Helbig was in with Mamrie Hart and Hannah Hart, Camp Dakota. Yeah, and that was available on iTunes as well. I think it's cool because I have Apple TV and we watch a lot of movies on there. Mm-hmm. And so that's all. And I want to watch the Veronica Mars movie, and I will. I loved the series. I thought it was great. So I really am into the Kickstarter thing. What I hate is when somebody does something kind of lame for Kickstarter, or it just seems like, really, you couldn't just go out and get a job and do that? Like,
yeah.
You want to buy a milk truck, really? That? And a lot of times you kind of feel like You want to, you'll support something if you actually feel like the person has it together to do what they want to do. All they need is the money.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that just like, hey, we want to start an air band and we need some outfits. You know what I mean?
Airband outfits.
Yeah, and we need to make videos on YouTube, so we need some cameras. And then, they'll get all that stuff, and then they'll never do the damn airband.
What can I get a Kickstarter for?
I know. I'm trying to think, like, what can I do? There's another website called Fund Anything, and I think maybe that's more up our alley. Mm-hmm. Well, let's fund the next 2 years of our lives.
Sounds good. I'm down.
Marconi Bologna plus Sierra Cake. MePlusCake.
Well, there it is, another glorious edition of the MePlusCake podcast. Sierra Cake, did you enjoy yourself?
I always enjoy myself.
And you look lovely today, by the way.
Thanks.
It's wasted on podcasts, but you know what it's not wasted on? Our vlogs. Mm-hmm. If you want to find how to see us and eyeball us, you can just go to MePlusCake.com. All the information will eventually be where you need it. Just don't hesitate to ask questions if you can't find it, right? So we learned a lot of things today. Lady Gaga likes being vommed on. Fred Phelps, the Westboro Baptist Church guy, is near death.
See ya.
Rihanna and Drake are a couple now.
Ooh.
And Kickstarter is putting a lot more movies on iTunes, which maybe we should just start a Kickstarter movie. Maybe we could get on our movie on iTunes.
Woo!
Our first year of vlogging, iTunes.com. Well, thank you both for listening. And if you have any questions, of course, anytime, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and MePlusCake is our thing. So thank you. We'll be back tomorrow.